Welcome everyone to another great episode of The Good Word with yours truly, Mr. Frederick, right back at you. All right, guys, let me get right into it today. Today, we are going to talk about happiness is your secret weapon. That's right, I said it, family. Happiness and joy is your secret weapon. I'm just going to point out a few pointers as to why it is, all right? If you are gifted and if you are blessed to have happiness, to know your joy and your happiness, to understand it too, because a lot of people get happiness and joy mixed up. Joy is something, it's not on a situation. It's just something that just rekindles inside your spirit that's constantly always there, right? And you're going to obviously go through times where it's not as prevalent, it's not on the forefront of your mind. It's natural. We all have our days. However, that joy just keeps you lit. It keeps burning no matter what happens. I mean, you'll get down and whatever, and boom, that joy lifts you back up because at the root of it, it comes from God, family. It's the appreciation for just existing, not necessarily what you do, how you look, how much money you got in your pocket. What else? Like with achievements, it's not even about none of that stuff. It's just something it's really a gift from God, family. It's a base part of your soul that some people have it. Just like some people have a soul, some people don't. Joy is the same way. A lot of people don't have it, and they've over the years maybe have let people manipulate it or steal it or negotiate that joy and that happiness. They'll be with someone that kind of steals some of it and whatever, and they negotiate it over time. Okay, but if you are blessed, you don't do that, family. You don't do that. I learned a long time ago with my wisdom that I had. I'm not going to lie. I know that I wasn't the same as a lot of people. I was always spiritually gifted. And I mean, in a lot of other ways too. So I could see a lot of things. And one thing I could always see is that that's something you don't compromise. I mean, anything that comes into your life, family, that steals that threatens to steal that, you have to let it go. I don't care person, place, or thing. I don't care how much money the job's giving you. I don't care how good the lady or guy looks, whatever you're into. I don't care what scenario it is. If it compromises your joy and your happiness within yourself, you got to let it go, family. I mean, you'll see in the long run that joy will bring you more. It's like it's a multiplier. It's a force multiplier. That's what it is. Literally, it attracts things to you. And like I said, everyone does not have it. I get it. But I do believe that it can be nurtured. It can be worked on over time. Once you learn yourself and learn what makes you smile, what makes you happy. And some people don't, know it. They might have came up in environments where it just was not promoted. Everyone was miserable. A lot of dysfunction, toxicity. I get it. And a lot of times, though, that is where the quote-unquote chosen, the ones that have this gift, they're put in those type of situations where it can be worked on, where it can be developed and appreciated even more. So it's a win-win situation, family, even if you came up in environments that was just really not necessarily affirming or giving validation to that gift. Okay, so let me just go into a few pointers, family, about nurturing and understanding and being able to appreciate that joy and that happiness. And how it is a secret weapon towards anything that comes to you in this life that you don't want or don't like. Okay, first, family, it's naturally infectious. So think about it. We all give off biorhythms or whatever, a heartbeat. These vibrations affect our environment around us. Some up to 30 feet. I mean, it could really go out wide. Okay, so when you have a high vibration, that's what people are talking about, how you're vibrating into the universe, to the atmosphere. When you have that affects others. Now, you'll have people, you can come into a room with your energy, and you'll have maybe 5 or 6 people that take to it. Then you have a couple that don't. Okay? But don't worry about the couple that don't. Understand that that's always going to be the case. And sometimes it might be the couple that don't might get converted. Okay, sometimes it might be flipped. It's more people that don't like your energy than do. It doesn't matter, family. Yours is consistent. Like I said, you're not always going to be at your highest, But that happiness and that joy is a well that never stops giving, because it's just a matter of where you're putting it. So it can get drained if you're around someone who doesn't have it and they know they don't have it and they're just trying to jab at it and steal it, mess with you a little bit. Those are people that got a lot of issues, okay? So they get their charge off of trying to bring you where they're at. I'm not talking about those kind of sick, crazy people. Get away from them, family. As soon as you identify that, don't even give them no chances, because they're always going to play that game of, save me. Family, you're not in the business of saving people. The older you get, you realize that your precious jewel, that joy, that happiness that God gave you naturally, is for you. And it's for you to give to people who appreciate it properly, not people who abuse it. And again, you'll find family members, spouses, people that think they have a privilege. That's why you have to be very careful who you give titles to, because people will get kind of spoiled. They'll feel like, oh, I got a privilege to steal your joy. No, you don't. You can get demoted today. You can get demoted any minute. Keep it up. And you have to be consistent with that. And the longer they don't see you, they'll understand why they were demoted. But they already know who they are. So it's not like you're really revealing anything to these type of people. They already know they're joy stealers. They're just trying to wait for you to catch on and see what you're going to do about it. And that's all it is. And eventually you'll get wise up and they'll never see you again. So understand, family, treat it just precious as it is, okay? It's infectious. It infects people, good and bad. Obviously the people that are bad, they don't like it, but you can flip some. But be careful with that. So understand also, family, with this happiness being a secret weapon, things want to come at you, but you'll always be recharged. So people can fake it, and that's what you got to watch out for. People that fake and imitate like they're you. They really don't have what you have, but they want to steal some of what you have. Not by doing the work on themselves to really find what makes them happy and keeps them, because they're just trying to piggyback off of the energy you have and that happiness that you use yourself to charge you up with. So it's very tricky, family, because these people have a keen instinct for your gift. They know how to identify it. They just don't have it. But what they can do very well is mimic it. But it's no soul behind what they're doing. It's no real spirit behind it. It's just looking at how you move and trying to move like that. Now, again, it's tricky, family, because some people, they can mirror it so well, and maybe they could be on drugs or something, or high, and whatever, something's charging them to be able to imitate it. But deep down inside, it's just fake. It's a mask. So deep down inside is really a lot of anger. It's a lot of hate. And so someone that authentically carries that light, it's the same thing, joy, light. Someone who authentically carries that is an immediate target, because they recognize you as the real, and they know they're the phony. They know they're not presenting to the world who they really are. They have to have some sort of false, and you'll know these people because over time, if you're around them, you'll see a complete evil side come out of them. And you're like, where'd that come from? It was always there. The other side is phony. That's their persona that they use to get people to get around them. And then once they feel they have you emotionally invested, boom, they get tired of that. They can't keep that phony fake up. So watch out for the pretenders, family. And also understand that happiness and that joy being your secret weapon. One way you can nurture that and cultivate that, you have to know what makes you happy. There's a lot of people in this world, family, that have no clue what makes them happy. And that's the root of it. They weren't in environmental situations coming up where they could discover that. They were either ushered into certain fields or certain responsibilities that don't really align with their true self. Certain personas that's not really them. It's what their family was trying to make them or whatever. And I feel sorry for these people. Well, I shouldn't say feel sorry, but I understand that type of individual. They never got to find out what makes them happy. See, but here's the gift in, if you have that light and you're in those dark, twisted kind of families, you understand early on, because of the events that you went through, you were forced to find your joy, what makes you happy, whether it was laughter, whether it was music, whether it was, could be sports. It's something, writing, something that really just kindles your fire and it really just lights you up. Okay, you're forced to go inside yourself when you are in those families that are neglecting, abusive, just dysfunctional, toxic. You learn that early on. So you cultivate this over years, decades of your life. Someone who maybe didn't experience anything like that, but they just weren't around a family that let them be them. Okay, they don't have that. So again, they can still fake like they do and try to get yours, but understand only the authentic, only the true really know what I'm talking about. The ones that don't worry about it. Just listen. Also, family, knowing what makes you smile, knowing what makes you laugh, and back to what I was saying, sometimes your environment doesn't fit into who you truly are. And I understand that situation. Sometimes the environment you're in just doesn't match you. And we try to hold on to those families and those friends that we come from early on. But understand, that's not you. That's your programming, your conditioning. It's not you. And you got to know as fast as you can what's the difference, what's yours and what's not. Because the more dysfunctional a family, the less you're able to individuate and really kind of distinctively cut off from the root what's good and what's yours and what's not. The more healthy family, they help you do that, okay? Because you have the comfort, you have the support of them in being who you are. It's not going to get denigrated. It's not going to get laughed at. You don't have all the jealousy, the backbiting, the hating. Those are people that usually have a narcissistic head of the family in there that has to put people in roles because their ego can't control you being an individual, anyone being an individual. So it has to be a role that makes their very insecure, small, very fragile ego survive. And so everyone's kind of walking on eggshells trying to be what these narcissists, head of families want them to be. And this is in psychology is very formidable even into your older years if you don't recognize it. If you don't acknowledge it, it is not only until these people pass away or they get older and you might get therapy and you understand that these are some really sick people. And it's not to denigrate them, it's just to be honest. You got to understand a lot of people never dealt with their issues, so that's why they pass things down. And generational trauma is sad. But in coaching and psychology, we learn these things, family. And that's why I share with you that happiness and that joy can't always be cultivated in those environments. But again, if you're blessed, it can. So treasure it. If you were able to develop this family, nurture it, and if you were able to, like a lot of comedians, you look at I was watching Eddie Murphy, think it's Netflix, Being Eddie Murphy. Wonderful. I recommend that to anyone, any of my viewers. Please watch this because say what you want about Eddie Murphy. A lot of people got different things, whatever, but before him, there was no Eddie Murphy. Let's just put it that way. You know, yeah, you had Richard Pryor. Yeah, you had, black stars here and there, but by far, it's not even a question. I came up seeing him early on Saturday Night Live, okay, as a youngster. And there was nothing like him since. So people can say whatever they want, but the fact is, Eddie Murphy changed the whole game for black entertainers and stars. And he set the tone. I would say him and Michael Jackson, if you really want to be, and maybe Michael Jordan, if you really want to just entertainment in general, you can throw it in there. But they set the tone, but in particular him, because his movies made money. But back to what I was saying. He said, I didn't fall into the same things as Michael Jackson, Prince, and I think it was Whitney Houston, because I love myself. You see, he had a family that nurtured that. So he was blessed to be able to be himself, nurture that love of self, nurture that personality, be supported in his creativity. And you see how it affected him his whole life. He never wavered. This is how I'm going to move. And whenever I get shook, I'm always can come back to here. The problem is, family, when he has that joy and that happiness, and that's where that love comes from. Comedy. He found that early on, even though he had a tragic beginning with his father being, unalive at a young age, but he had a great stepfather that came in and helped him and really took the place and did a great job. So kudos to him. But my point is that with that tragedy, he still prevailed with his light. And that's what you can do, family. And of course, none of us are going to be Eddie Murphy. It's only one Eddie Murphy. Like it's only one you, family. But understand this. No matter if you're Eddie Murphy or if you're Teddy Murray, it doesn't matter what your name is, family. The idea is the same. That joy, that happiness, that laughter, that whatever you have, music, sports, um, could be you're a great writer, could be you're a great debater, whatever you have, very extremely intellectual, gifted in academia, whatever you really love to do, nurture it and treasure it and understand that that's your secret weapon. Because this world out here is going to give you lots of negativity, lots of no's, lots of rejection, lots of doubt, lots of fear is going to be pushed upon you. But understand that's not of God. And understand that it's not meant for you to stop, because that is meant for you to reach back in to that joy and that happiness and get rekindled and get it recharged. That's why I always emphasize, family, on not letting people drain that from you. Don't, because you're going to need it. And when you go to that well and there's nothing there because you're looking next to you and you got a vampire next to you, and you're like, what in the world? Where's my joy? Where's my happiness? You don't have any more because you got somebody sitting there draining you every second, having to defend yourself, hating, secret hating, sometimes blatant hating on you. That's why I always tell you, family, serve them what they deserve. If they don't act accordingly, don't give them that title. And if you did, take it back. It's not meant for you to be around these kind of people. And I tell you, if I always knew this, but I would hesitate somewhat to act on it at times, and it's never been good. Always get these people away from you as soon as you can, family. And you'll see an improvement, because that dictates your environment. It really does. And always understand, family, that the happiness and the joy being your secret weapon when the world comes at you, understand that it's under your control, because you have to go to that well. You have to find those things. Those things aren't going to find you all the time. You have to listen and register what resonates with you. If it's comedy, if it's music, if it's going out dancing, if it's gardening, you have to actually pay attention to you. Okay, you got to do the work. It's a certain amount of work. What is resonating with me? What's making me feel enlightened, empowered? What's bringing me down? You have to register this, okay? And don't be phony with it. Be real. Okay, I really like this. Because sometimes we take on things that people told us we should do. Oh, you be good at this. No, that's what you think I'd be good at. You know, it can't go off of someone just looking at you and saying, oh, you 6'5", you'd be a great basketball player. Okay, I don't like basketball. What do I do now? Oh, well, stock shelves. No, you don't tell me just based on your perceived or how you view me and your limited perception and experiences what I should be. I know what I should be. Not based on what you've experienced and seen or how you categorize me. I know what's in my spirit. And if it ain't basketball, it ain't basketball. You know, and that's the thing. A lot of people fall into that. I just never been one of those people. I was like, who are you telling me what I'm supposed to do? You go play basketball and you're 5'2". You know, and you might have a 5'2" player that's great. Spud Webb or something. You know, the reality is never fall into letting people dictate. And I guess I always was a kind of strong personality where you weren't dictating to me. I didn't care, mother, father. You ain't dictating to me who I'm supposed to be, what I'm supposed to like. I like what I like. And I know everybody doesn't have that, family. And that's why God put me in the position he put me in. Because the things that I am, that I did naturally have, I was able to nurture it, and now I can help others. Because I know everyone doesn't have the voice. Everyone doesn't have the outspokenness, the just courage. They just, you know, it's not like, oh, he's doing it on some crazy stuff. He's out of his mind. It's on, I don't care what you think. I'm strong enough in who I am to where it's going to be what it's going to be. And over time, you'll see these people go away, whether they pass away, whether they go away, whatever. But they'll be out of your life, because the reality is that once you start understanding your purpose, and once you start really understanding that you always have naysayers on the side, you always have people, for whatever reasons, their limitations, their insecurities, you're always going to have these people that are there as long as you keep them there. But the thing is they're never more powerful than God. That's the key. And they might think they will be, but they are never going to be more powerful than God. They'll be long gone, family, and you'll still be doing your thing, okay? Because God has a plan for you. And as long as you know that, know in your convictions that when something comes to you that you're supposed to do, I don't care what someone tells you and who they're supposed to be to you. Certainly if they're supposed to be someone who help and nurture and support you and they're hating, get away from that person. Don't listen to nothing they saying. Because all it is they seeing you what they ain't. They hate because they ain't. And they're going to hate until the day they gone. Because that's what they are. And know that everybody that's close to you that you didn't have control over ain't for you. And that's cool. You just keep them over there. Okay? But yes, be strong in what you love, family. And that's why I always end it with all of my videos. If my real listeners know, I always end it with what? Love what you do and do what you love. And it's a reason for that, family, because that's a win-win. When you love what you do, for one, you're going to be better at it. And if you do what you love, you're going to do more of it. Okay? And you can contribute to people if you're doing what you love, because you're not mad and angry. And last but not least, family, I'm about to get out of here, but I already touched on the fake haters and energy vampires. But understand that stay away from triggers and things like that. Some people will say, oh, well, be strong and deal with it and good. No, if you don't have to deal with it, don't deal with it. Why put something in front of you to prove a point? You don't need to prove a point by dealing with some idiot or somebody who's out of their mind, whacked out, some whack job out here that you can't help. And the only thing they can do is try to bring you down. If something triggers you, if you go in an environment and that's uncomfortable for you, maybe you had a bad experience there, maybe whatever, it just triggers you some kind of way. Why keep going there? Oh, well, you need to be strong. That's not what my psychology says. My psychology says if I don't have to deal with it, I'm not. No, you don't need to rebuild your resilience. Forget all about that. That comes when situations where you have no choice, like a job or something, until you can get out of it. But if you voluntarily go to places to prove what to who, what are you proving? Because you might not make it out of that place. If something has not been good for you, only someone who's out of their mind would keep going around it. So in my coaching, you stay away from triggers. Stay away from triggering people. Stay away from triggering places. And stay away from triggering things. If it ain't good, it ain't good, family. There's no in between. Oh, well, I can make it work. No. Let the Lord make it work. And if the Lord tells you to keep away, He making it work. He making it work away from you. And that's how you got to stay true to it. Same thing, again, I go back to people. It's so important, family. Don't try to prove nothing to nobody. Don't try to negotiate with them your value. Please, get out of here. If you don't see it off the top, get away from me. Because guess what? Two things that happen. While you're around this person that you're negotiating your value with and they're triggering you and you're trying to work it out some kind of way with them, you're not around someone who really will see you off the top and give you what you need and help you and show you that love. Why reward someone who you got to prove to, who ain't even really ever going to agree with it because they're too insecure? Why give them and reward them in any kind of way? You reward them with your absence. You know what you get? Your reward is away from me. And that's how I believe it, family. And I lived it. And I'm telling you, that's how I'm here right now. I'm here because I kick them people to the dirt and they can stay away from me forever. If you don't bring love, if you don't bring goodness, if you don't bring support in my life, you're out of my life, period. Don't negotiate it. Don't try to. My joy and my happiness is my secret weapon. And I got to keep building it. I don't give you no excuses. Oh, well, this person told me this. Oh, then why you believe it? Bye. And that's how you got to be, family. Now, at some point, I was a little more lenient and would try to, it doesn't work. Every inch you give this type of negative entity in your life, it takes a mile. And that's the way it's set up. It can only prey on you, your empathy, and giving them another chance. That's the only thing they can prey on. Because if you see it for what it is, get them out of your face forever, they have nothing to do but sit on the sideline and hate. And that's where they need to be. Don't reward bad attitude. Okay? And so never negotiate your value, family. Something triggers you, someone tries to put you on a defense, prove it. Prove this. Let me prove how fast I can keep you away from me. and how good I'm gonna be at it. That's what I'm gonna prove. Now we'll see who wins, because I guarantee you I could do it. So understand, family, triggers, keep away from them. I don't care what psychology says about, no, you need to work on that. If you have to, yes. But if you don't have to, don't. All right, family, that's enough of that. So again, support Sprouting Crowns on Facebook and Instagram. And understand we got some good stuff coming up for you guys. Hope everyone has a great holiday. And remember, family, your happiness, your joy, your laughter, movies, sports, comedy, whatever you enjoy, music, that's near and dear. That's what makes you you. It could also be helping people like I'm doing. But again, it's not always anything to do with someone else. Sometimes it's just your personal light that you carry and appreciation for being alive. And that joy, that's a gift. And be careful where you give it and share it. But that laughter, it's your secret weapon, family. It ain't no drug. It's not no woman, man. It's nothing to do with anyone else. This is a gift that God gave you. Cherish and be thankful if you have it. Be careful where you put it. Love what you do what you love. Peace.